Okay. You're welcome to
Anita, you
day.
will teach me how to share this thing.
You're welcome to day 13 of the 30 days data analysis and marathon training. Proudly hosted by Retech Consulting Limited. Okay. Now we have worked on several data sets, so we needed to work with this sales data set, and then we saw some calculations. So very quickly, this is what we have, and then we are being expected to calculate the rest of these empty columns, which includes the cost per unit, total cost, selling price per unit, then total sales, and then profit per unit, and then total profit. Now they have given us the quantity, the unit price, a discount, and then the percentage of the cost was 70%. The percentage of the cost was 70%. Okay, so the explanation here is that the cost is actually the cost percentage, this 70% is actually from the manufacturer. We explained that any marketer that goes to a manufacturer to buy goods in bulk will have some, if I want to use this word, discount, so that you can understand where I'm coming from. It's also different from the marketer himself giving out discount from his own end. So actually, this is a discount of the marketer, and then this is a discount of the manufacturer, right?
Okay,
So
sir.
we have two kind of discount: the marketer's discount, and then the manufacturer's,
Discount.
this. So this 70% is what the marketer will pay. So the actual discount is 30%, right? So that the marketer can make his profit as it should be. All right. So to calculate all this, cost per unit, is, first of all, we need to calculate the total cost so that we could effect this discount. Then we now divide it to get per unit. Now, this calculation can be done in both Power Query, or directly here in Excel. So it's very simple. Total cost to effect this 70% is unit price. When it comes to calculation in Excel, the first thing you need to put is unit price. So unit price, the first thing you need to put is equal sign, right? The very first thing you want to do in calculation, the first thing that should come to your mind is equal sign. Equal sign activates the formula bar and every other calculating indices to be alert and also at your disposal. The whole sheet as well will be active for any calculation as it may arise. So the formula to get total cost is the unit price times, to put in this star. If you look at this asterisk or star, you can find it on top of number 8 on your keyboard. So if you press shift and 8, you can easily put,
Okay.
yes, you can put
Okay.
that. That is now multiplier. So that is multiplication. Unit price multiplied by quantity, then multiplied by 0.7. If you 70% simply means 0.7, because
0.7.
70 divided by 100 will give you 0.7. 0.7. Then you press enter. Because this is a table, anything you do into one will affect everybody automatically.
Everything.
Yeah, so
that's good.
So everything just populates accordingly. So now at this point, we can now do the cost per unit, the actual cost per unit. So actual cost is now equal sign here. That'll be total cost divided by the quantity, and then you press enter. So we have now gotten the total cost. Then selling price. Selling price from the marketer now. Marketer wants to also make profit. So marketer need to know the selling price. So
Sorry. Hello.
yes, I'm with you. Can you hear me? Okay. So the selling price, will now know the discount because he wants to sell to maybe a final consumer, as the case may be. So we must now know the actual value. This discount, what is the value or the amount of 0.5 as regarding the unit price. So I can easily insert a column here and call it discount amount. Discount amount. So what do I mean? This 0.05 discount, what is the actual amount? All the 0.1, what is the actual amount from the unit price? So how can we get that done? It's very simple. Just put your first in equal sign, and then you say the unit price multiplied by the discount that was given. You press enter. So this is the actual amount that is deducted from the unit price to be the discount given by the marketer. Actually, if you want to buy one item, right? We want to buy one unit, just one. They might tell you this is the price, 333,384 is the price. But we say, oh, let them give you discount, or let them discount it for you, as the case may be. They can now give you this 0.05 discount. And how much are they? Is 0.05? It is 16,000. Yes, 0.05 is 16,000. So you can see. So with that, they can now know that yes, this is the discount of what they have deducted from the actual price, right? Have in mind, we want to sell it. So coming to selling price after you have deducted discount. So selling price will now be unit price minus discount amount. That will now be the selling price. That will be the base mark for the selling price. The base mark. You can sell above, you can sell exactly as the unit price, but the very basic mark that you cannot go below, which is the least, which is the selling price per unit. So how could that be calculated? It's very simple. Selling price, now unit price minus discount amount. Put your equal sign, and then you now say unit price minus discount amount. And you now press enter. Now this is the selling price. This is the least we can go. If anybody doesn't buy this amount, then we can't go below this amount. This is the selling price. We have given the person, we have removed the discount. If you remove discount from the unit price, if you remove this discount, this 16,000 from the unit price, you have this value. So we have given the person discount. So this is the least I can sell my product, right? So we now kept it as selling price. So assuming this could work as it is, and then you want to now have this for one unit. Let's know the total amount to sell the whole 10 quantity that is there, 10 unit of items that is there. So very simple. Having gotten your unit price for one unit, your selling price for one unit, you can easily do for all the items that you brought from the manufacturer. So selling price, total sells, or total amount of selling price, is just equal selling price times quantity. Selling price times quantity. Selling price times quantity. You press enter. Right? So if the marketer wants to know what profit am I making, what is my profit am I making per unit, and then my general profit, it's very simple. Profit will be, for profit per unit will now be selling per unit minus cost per unit. Have in mind, the cost was the basement that he bought from the manufacturer. So, and then how much is he selling? Selling minus the costs per unit. Now he's earning 83,364 for one item. Every single item is getting 83,000 as a profit. Right? So he wants to now know the total profit. Now, someone will shout, why is this profit this high? He needs to break down this profit from the transportation, all those compliances, bargaining and all that. You now calculate that to make up this profit, so that you can use that to clear all the expenses that incurred during the purchase of these goods. So when it comes to profit earning, you must know that all the expenses that was done must be taken into consideration, and then you need to pay your staff, and then you need to also make profit. So these are the things that would incur in making your sales database to be effective. Now, the total profit for the 10 items that was bought. Now, for you to know that, it's just profit per unit times the quantity that was bought. Profit per unit times quantity. Oh, the product here is laptop, and the product here is Dell Inspiron. So profit per unit times quantity. Now all the columns have been populated. So this is the profit you will have, you will gain at the end when all these items are being sold out. So these are some basic calculations that could be done in Excel, right? Now, we want to see the same calculation in Power Query. We want to see the same calculation in Power Query, right? Now, normally, I may need to delete all these rows, and then we'll recreate them when we get to Power Query, right? So first, let's bring out, let's go to data, and then this is the query get and transform, which is query pane, query corner. We just say get data from the table that is there already. So just click from table. Get data from table. So immediately, query will extract the data and bring it straight into Power Query Editor. So this is Power Query Editor. So you can see we have our title bar here that is telling you Power Query is here. This is the cell data set that we're working on. And then we have our menu bar, sometimes being called tabs: File tab, Home tab, Transform, Add columns, and View. Then we have the ribbons here. And then we have different queries. Here are the queries we have. And then in front of this is the formula bar, it's also known as M code, call M code, if I want to call that tab. we have query setting here that has the properties, which carries the table name or the query name, which is cell data set, and then this apply steps. Now, everything that is being done here, the steps will be recorded. The steps will be recorded. These recorded steps are being done in case you want to do what is called automation. Now, instead of doing this cleanup, assuming we need to do some cleanups to this data set, instead of doing it for all the data set that is being introduced into Excel or into Power Query, you can just do it for one person, one data set. And as you populate your data set into Power Query, it runs the same processes for all the data set as it being introduced, right? So that is automation, so that you will not be always coming to be doing the cleaning, the same thing always and always and always. A Power Query is here to get that first steps and then replicate it on all the data set that is being introduced into such folder. Now, if you look at this, we have transaction ID. We have a data type in front of you, which is ABC. But ABC is for text, but transaction ID has both text, alphabet, and number. So we can now change this to ABC123. There's text and numbers. Is it? It's not here. But then let's just keep it at text. There's ABC123 that I saw, right? So we have date, but this is long date. It's showing both date and time. We only want it to just show date alone. So we can just click on it, and then we choose the data type and choose date. So it should just be date. It should just be date alone and not date and time. Like our region is there, city, text normally, a sell person, category, product, all of them are text, so they are all represented by ABC. All right, so quantity is represented by 1, 2, 3, full number or whole number. Unit price should be represented not by number but by currency. Just click on it and click currency, because they are all prices, right? Now, discount, leave it at decimal point because it's already decimal point. Discount amount should be currency, since it is amount. All right, so costs per unit, also currency. Total cost is also an amount, which is currency. All right, so selling price is also currency. Total sales, still currency. Profit is still currency. Total profit, keep it at currency. All right. Okay, months. Okay, number, year, etc. So this has been cleaned, as you can see. Now, I told you earlier that Excel, Power Query Editor here, we can create the same calculations that we did, but using calculated columns to get that done. Now, let me just delete few of them since they are already the same. And let me just delete 3 of them. So we delete from total sales, profit, and total profit. So we'll just do the 3. Let me delete these 3. If you select like this, select the 3, you right click on any of them and tell it remove columns. 3 of them will be deleted. All right, now let's try those calculations. You if you come to add columns tab, click on add columns, and then you choose custom columns. Now we delete total sales. Yes, we delete total sales, delete profit and total profit. All right, let's start with total sales. So we can now write here on the dialog box of custom columns, total sales, right? And then on the custom formula, selling price, we're looking for total sales. So total sales will now be selling per unit times the quantity. So it's very simple. On these available columns that is there, you scroll to look for selling per unit. Just tap, it will enter the calculated a box. And then since it's total sales, so selling per unit times quantity. Now you now look for quantity and then tap on it. Just double click. The tap means double click. It will enter the box and you click on OK. Instantaneously, the whole total sales will appear accurately on the editor here, and then you can change the formatting to format it to currency, and then you can immediately drag and drop it where you want it to be. So I want it to be immediately after sales per unit. I just did drag and drop. I drag, click on it, drag and drop it close to sales per unit. Okay, so now we can then add another column for profit per unit and then total profit. So profit per unit, So how can we calculate profit per unit? Is profit per unit will now be selling per unit minus cost per unit. Selling per unit minus cost per unit. So selling price per unit, double click on it, then minus cost per unit. You double click on cost per unit and you click OK. Immediately such is calculated. You can change the formatting to currency, and then the next column we want to also do is total profit. So let's do total profit. All right. On the column formula box, we just pick up the profit per unit, double click on it, then multiply by quantity. Then you click OK. So the total profit column will immediately take effect. Now the same thing, I want to drag two of them in to take their place. Just select both of them, and then click and drag. As you are clicking and dragging, there's a thick grid line that is following you to show you where you want to place. Is this where you want to place? Once you leave it at that position, it will place those columns there. Now these are the way we can actually recreate those calculations that we did here on Power Query Editor as required. So at this point, once we come to home, we can now come to close and load. Now we have both close and load. I also have close and load too. We have both close and load, and then we have both close and load too. So close and load here we'll close it and load it to an Excel worksheet directly. But the close and load too will be asking you some questions. Where do you want to load it to outside your worksheet? At that point, You can, give your instruction. Oh, I want to load it to a data model. I want to load it to somewhere else, and it will be accepted by your click. So let me just load this to a worksheet directly. Okay. As you can see, it's loaded into a worksheet. So this is it. It has been loaded into a worksheet very effectively, right? Okay. Stella, are you there with me?
Yes, I'm here.
All right. So at this point, we actually have we have done very important thing now. So let's see one of the processes involved. Let me use, okay, the Shola is here. So Shola, you're welcome. And it seems that Fatima is trying to battle with the network, as the case may be. There's no challenge. All right. So let's do something new. Let me
Sir?
open a new.
Hello, sir.
Yes. Yes, I can hear
I
you.
said this Power Query. I don't know if my own Excel has it too.
Okay, we'll come and fix that later if it doesn't have.
Okay,
Even
sir.
Mr. Shola too, his Excel didn't have Power Query. So we'll see how to
Okay.
fix that later. Okay, so
Okay, sir.
now the next thing I want us to do, we want to still hit hard on the Power Query, more intense understanding about it. So that's why I open a new blank sheet so that we can use another data set to run through that same Power Query. First, let's go to our file and click on options, and then click on add-ins. You come down to where we have manage here. On the drop down, choose come add-in, and then you click on go. All right, then you activate Microsoft Power View for Excel, and also Microsoft Office Power Pivot for Excel, and then you click on OK. Now, immediately when all that is being done, you find out that there's what we call Power Pivot tab on the menu bar. After the view, there's what is called Power Pivot tab on the menu bar. All right, so now let's import another data into this worksheet so we can get more insight on our Power Editor as well as data model. So we come to data tab, and then there is what we have here, new query. Just click on it. On the drop down, say click from file, new query from file, and then scroll down to from folder. New query from file, and then from folder. Now the dialog box will appear, and then you click on browse when it appears. I send this data set to us. I can resend it to you again. We're using EDA data set, and it's on my desktop. So I double click on desktop, and I can now find EDA folder. And then there's another folder that I want to work with, which is start. I'll click on start and click on OK. That is where my folder is. And I'll click on OK to launch the folder. So immediately, the Excel has brought it up for me to preview. And then this is done. I will just click on edit. I want to see more. Click on edit here. On that, on clicking on edit, these are the content. We have 3 files in that folder. 3 files are here in that folder. So at this point, I don't really want this attribute. There are other attributes that are here. And as you can see, here is Power Query Editor as well. The same Power Query we came earlier on. So these are the names of the file. The extensions, they are CSV. CSV means comma separated values. CSV means comma, as normal comma separated values. I will show you how that look like later. All the values are being separated by a comma, right? Okay, so these are the extension, and then date and other information are here. So, but I don't need all these attributes. I just only need the content. So I'll just right click on the content and tell it to remove other columns. Remove other columns. And then it has done that. As I told you before, we have these query settings, and there's a under the name, I can give a name here as the name of this should be F cells. Can give a name of my table. And then if you look at the apply steps, we have source, which is where my data came from. And then the next thing I did, what I did earlier was just to remove other columns. So I've done that. That is why the step is recorded. If you want to go back, if you cancel it, it will return you to where everything was, right? I've canceled it. So I still want to maintain my stand. So I still come back to it. Now, after doing that, in front of this content, there is an icon here that says combine files. We want to combine these files. So I'll just click on that combine files. I'll click on the combined files. And then it decided to load the first 200 rows for me to see what actually happened. And then I say, okay, I will click on OK. And I'm okay with that. You should launch up the query. The sample queries here with me. We have the table here. And then we have the steps he has taken to get this query launched, to combine and launch them to my data, to my Power Query editor effectively. All right, so from this point, I want to check whether the formatting of this data are in place. Now I can see that date is on short date, which is very good. Product is the product ID, they are all numbers, is very good. Sales ID, numbers, very good. Units are in numbers, very good. So after all this is being done, when all this is being done, I know that this is good for me. So the next thing I'll do here is I'll click on close and load to. Close and load to. Close and load to is the second one I want to click. Now, close and load to now bring up a dialog box. And then I'll tell it I only want connection. And then I want you to also add this to data model. Now, let me just tell you a little about creating a connection. You know, if you have like 2 million rows or 3 million rows, and you now put them on a table, there are some Excel or some computers that whose drive are not strong and RAM are not strong. The system may be hanging on everything you want to do. Just even to scroll down, the system may hang. But you can do it better by putting such million rows into connection. You launch them into a Power Editor, and then once everything is being done, you launch all of them into a connection. So the connection will now be stored like behind the scene storage. If you need anything, you just to ask, and then to bring it for your use, instead of pouring everything on your sheet and making your Excel to be hanging up and down. Whereas you don't need most of those things that is being poured out, right? So it's better to keep large amount of rows or information or data on connection purposes. It will be better so that you could control and then make your system to be effective at your, cleaning and analyzing. So just click on load. Right now, it will load. As you can see, that's loaded up here. It's telling us 606 rows have been loaded into our connection now. So it's only connection only. Okay, so we need other information so that we can create other relationship as regards what we're doing. So let me get another information here, some tables, so that we'll populate it. Let me get it from here. Let me just copy this out. Let me paste it here. All right. Now, we now have a table here. We click on design. The table's name is D products. And then we have a second table here. The table's name is sales, D sales rep. All right. So I want us to also launch this into Power Editor, and then so that we could bring them into connections as regards that. So very simple, just click any cell in the first table. Click any cell in the first table. Let me correct this wrong spelling. Click any cell in the first table, and then come to Data tab, come down to Get and Transform area, and then since it is a table, tell it to get data from table. Just click on it. It will immediately launch the table into query, and then you inspect what is happening, the form or the type of, okay, price. You can change price into currency. You can also change costs into currency as well, right? So if that is okay by you, and then we'll now say close and load to connection. Just close and load to connection. Also add this to data model. Now, data modeling or model here is being used, of which we shall see later. That is where we can actually do some relationship connectivity to combine data from one table to another, and then we iterate into all of them to get what we're actually looking for. All right, so let's bring this second sales rep into the connection. Get data, come to Get and Transform area. Then from the ribbon, choose from table, and then it will launch the second table into Power Query. And when it's there, you inspect it that everything is okay. Just say close and load to connection. Add it to data model. Then you click on load. All right. If you look at your pan here, your right hand, you find out that F cells was loaded into data connection. D product is loaded, and D sales rep is also loaded, right? So at this point, our power pivot here that we had, we want to start making use of it. Just click on Power Pivot, and then click on Manage. And you click on Manage. All right, our Power Pivot is opening, as you can see. And then the opening, it has showed us that we only have three tables here. We have the F cells, the F product, D product, and then sales rep, right? So the first table, the F cells, carries the date, the product ID, sales, and unit, of which we shall do one or two calculations as being required. But first, it's better to have a date database so that we can also iterate through and it will be smoother for any calculation of any kind. So at this point, just select the date and then come to design, come to date and tables, then you click on new, right? Now, Power Pivot will, alongside with Power Query, will extract the date and create a very balanced date tables for us from that information it has derived. Okay. Let's give it some time to finish. Is Fatima in the class? Is Fatima in the class? All right, it seems it's done. So as you can see, it has added one table for us, which is calendar, but we don't want to use the word calendar. We just double click here and write the date, right? So the date is actually what we're looking for. As you can see, it has the date, it splits it up into the year, the number of months, or month number, we have the month itself, year and month, day of the week, number of day of the week, etc., etc. So those are the things involved. But at this point, let's go back again to our F cells. Now we can do what is called relationship. If you check here, there's what we call manage relationship. But first, let's create the relationship. Let's create the relationship. Come to home tab, and then come to diagram view. Home tab, the default table will appear just like our F cells have the sales rep. Know how our this relation diagram view, we want to create relationship. Now let's keep this table in how the relationship should be actualized. Now we have facts and then fact table, and then we have one to many relationship. What does that mean? There are unique values in one of them, and then we have multiple of those values in another table. So as you can see very well, we have F cells here. F cells happen to have almost every, every, let me use the word column header in its table that can also be found in different tables here. Now we have date, we also have date. So you can now drag to create a relationship, drag one of the item there to match with the same item in another tab. And then immediately a relationship is created. A relationship is created. We have fact table, one to many, one, meaning that there are unique dates here. And then the star here means there are multiple dates here. So Power Pivot is able enough to understand and also make those relationships work smoothly, so that this can actually work. Now, If a table is not connected, have in mind this relationship makes date to be able to access any other information on this F cells table. F cells here, because of this relationship, you can access any information on this date table, any information because of this relationship. Now let's do the same for product. Click product ID and then drag it to product ID here. Right? A relationship is created. And then sales rep is here. Click sales rep ID, drag it to sales rep ID here. Relationship is created. Now, this relationship can now make product ID via this relationship. It can access information from sales rep. It can also access information from date table. Assuming there was no relationship, he can never access any information from any of these tables. But because of this relationship, though it's being connected to F cells, and F cells is connected to each of these tables, then product can access information from all the tables that have been connected to themselves. So this is actual the connection being done, right? This is the relationship that is being done. And this on data view, so you can come back to, that was diagram view. So I'm now on data view. Just click on data view. It will bring you straight into your preview sheet data view, as the case may be. All right. Now let's do one or two things. Have in mind on this data view is where we create measures, DAX formulas and measures. We can create DAX formulas and measures on this data view. At this point, having done all that, let's look at the date again so that we can now remove what we actually don't need and then create what we need from the date. Let's come back to date. There is what is called end of date, end of month calculation. There's a add column here. If you double click on it, tap, you can type or type to add any columns. So let's add end of month here as a column, and then you just press enter when that is done. End of month, so that it will go through each and every date that is here, and then help us to calculate the sales that took place from the beginning of the month to the end of the month and all that. Now there is a formula for this. Let's make sure that our end of month date is actualized before we can now hit further in checking the products, the sales, the profit at the end of the month. So let's calculate our end of the month. There is a formula in DAX. There's a formula that can get this done very quickly, and it is known as the same thing, end of month. So on the formula bar, just select the first cell and then click on the formula bar, and then your equal sign is already there. Just type end of month. Before you finish, it will display it for you. Just double click on it. Now end of month requires the date column, so just click on the date. Sorry. Requires the date column. And once you start typing date, the date table will appear. Just click on this date, and then you give 0. You type 0. If you type -1, it will start from December. Or if you type 0, it will start from January. So 0 is January, which you want it to start with, and then you close your bracket and press enter. Close your bracket and then you press enter. right? Now, it is now going through to make that calculation come to pass. As you can see, it's calculating. As you can see, it's calculating, and then boom, it has given us the end of month. But if you look at it very well, let me expand it so you can see, it calculated both the end of the month and then the time. I don't really need this time. So what I will do, I'll just come to this format, data type, the format here, and choose just the date. I said just the date. I don't want date and time. Just need just the date. And then it removes the time for us. And that is that. So now let's come back to F cells. Let's see how to create a measure, right? There are some calculations that we need to create, and then we need to find, you want to find the total cells per month, per year. You want to look at that total cells. Now there are two ways to actually calculate this, but let's start with the longer way so that the shorter way will be appreciated. First, let's create a column. Let's call this daily cells. Let's call these daily cells. Right. And just press enter. Just press enter to create that column. So it's trying to create the column for us. Trying to create the column for us. Okay. All right. So it has done that for us. On the first cell, just click on the first cell here, and then get to the formula bar. On the formula bar, we want it to iterate through and calculate for us the daily cells of each day, the cells of each day, right? So what we'll do, it will go through the product table and then come back to the F cells and then find out the daily cells, even with the date. You need to work with three tables now: the date, the product table, and the F cells table, so that it will calculate the daily cells. So what is the formula we need to use? Is one of the powerful formula is called related. One of the powerful formula, which is also called DAX formulas, right? So related, where is it coming to find? We want to get the price times unit will give us the daily sales for each day. So price is gotten under product. So we just click on product, tap, right? Product, you close the bracket that opens it, multiply by F cells unit. Unit is found in F cells. Just click on F cells and then you press enter. Then the daily cells will be multiplied. The daily cells will be multiplied and calculated automatically in Power Pivot, right? These are DAX formulas, very powerful formulas. And there are other formulas here that can be looked into, discussed, and then it would be useful to create more powerful, insight as it comes to Power Pivot in Excel. Okay, so as you can see, each of the cells are being calculated for us, even in the dollar sign and all that. So we have each of the daily cells and their values per day. Okay, so the next thing here is to now get the total cells, the total cells, the total cells, summing all of this up to now have the total cells. Very simple. Let's click somewhere here. Let's click somewhere here. And then on our formula bar, let's write total cells. It's actually in dollars. You put your column and then you put an equal sign. Total cells, column, and then equal sign. And then since the daily cells has been calculated already, what we'll just do is to sum all this up. So just put your sum here. Just type your sum there. And then sum of what? Of daily cells. So, and the daily cells is found on the F cells table. So you just write F cells table, daily cells. We close the bracket and you press enter. It will automatically go through each of these and bring out the total amount of the cells, the daily cells that has been calculated already, right? Now, as you can see, the total amount is being displayed here already. The total amount is displayed here already, right? 1471139.8. That's the total amount that's already displayed already here. Now this was the longer step. We can do this long step in just one formula. In just one formula. We can do the long step in just one formula. However, if you right click on this total cells formula, there's what we call format. And then you can choose other currency, of which is currency actually. So you can keep it on currency. And then let's keep it at 1 decimal point. And then you click OK. Now to format it accordingly, and put commas where comma ought to be put and make it look as an amount, you know. So let's look at the one step or one formula that is actually preferred, as the case may be. Now, what you do here is just to go straight to the point, select a cell, then come to your formula bar and write the same thing, total cells. You're looking for total cells. Total cells. I want to separate it so I will know which stands for which. Total cells. I will now put the dollar sign so that we'll know the difference between the long formula and the short formula. All right, so total cells, column, and equal sign. You put column after you have written the header, or yes, after you have written the title, you put a column, and then you put your equal sign so that the calculations can comment. So there is a powerful tool, an iterable tool, or iterable formula, which is SUMX. You know, the first one, you only use sum itself, but this one, I want to use SUMX. So it should go into each of these tables and do the calculation for us instead of us bringing out those calculations and display them on daily cells as it is, as we did here. So the iterable formula will go into each of these tables, do the filtering, and then do the calculations and bring out the answer for us. That's why it's called SUMX. So let me just type it. SumX is one of the powerful data formulas, DAX formulas we have, right? So SumX of F cells table, we put the related, so that you need to know that you need to go to find from different tables that are being introduced. So related price, why we put related, so that you know that it's going to price via the relationship we did, and pick up price and then multiply it with our F cells unit, multiply with unit, right? So F cells unit, and then you put your OK. Let's close, then OK, enter. All right, as you can see, it's done. It's done. And then let's format it so that we could have let's keep it on currency. Okay, currency, let's keep this on 2 decimal places. All right, so as you can see, this has been done very, very easily. That's giving us the amount, the same amount that we have in the first longer step, the same amount we have in this shorter step, right? So let's go straight into the view again, the design view. But before we hit that, let's come to the diagram view again. And then there are some columns that we don't need, right? There are some columns that we don't need. You just right click, like date hierarchy, date column. Under date, we don't need this. In fact, let me bring you here first. Let's come here so that I can show you what we are removing. There are some columns that we don't need for now. Like we don't need this day of the week, and we don't need this, right? And we don't need this year and month. These 3 of them, we can just say delete columns. We don't need these 3, day of the week number, and then year and month. We don't need them for now. Just say delete, and it will delete those columns for us, and then everything will be perfect. So at this point, just click on pivot table. Go straight, there's pivot table under the home tab. There is pivot table. Just click on pivot table, and let's say take it to a new sheet. Let's go to a new sheet. All right, so we're now on a new sheet here. So we can now create some previews, right? Some pivot table from all what we have done so far. Now we have let me expand this. We have our queries here already, and then we have the pivot table pane already here. So we have tables already, but we don't really need tables. We only need measures. We need measures and not tables. So the measures are found under F cells. So these are measures. The first one we did and the second one. So these are the measures. But however, let's just do some preview and then we will get to see what and what can be done to make sure things move smoothly for us. Okay, under the table we have here, click date hierarchy to rows, right? Date hierarchy to rows, and then pick total cells to measures. Total cells is already here to values. Let's pick the first one to values. Now it immediately populates, as you can see, that's populated here on our sheet. Is populated here, as you can see, year 2021, 404 100,000, 2022 486, and 2023 we have 580,000. Now these are, we just use a measure to get those things done, right? Now we just like we have done this before, you can bring out any insight as you wish, right? From any understanding you want to, any insight from this data set, you can just fish them out. You can fish them out and then display them on your data, on your pivot table. And then you can now launch it to your Power Chart, as the case may be. Now, but there are some things we don't need for it to appear. If you don't need some of these things to appear, it's very easy. Just go. Let's get back to let's get back to manage so that we can hide them. Most of these things are not required, so we just want the only required things to be shown, right? Anyone that is not required should be hidden. Just come back here, come to diagram view. I click on manage data model, and then I click on diagram view, and then things we don't need should be hidden. Now we don't need date because we already have a date table. We don't need dates. What we need here is just the two measures that was created, right? So we just select them, click on them, right click, and then you select. You press down your shift. You click on date first, press down your shift, and then you start clicking on others to select them. And then when that is done, you just right click and say hide from client tools. They are still there, but they are just hidden. They are still there, but they are just hidden. Now, product ID, under product table, we don't want product ID. We just want the product. And then anything we don't want, you just say hide, right? So me, I only want to hide this. I'll just click the first one and then say hide. Assuming I don't want cost. Even though it's hidden, does not mean that you can't do any calculation as is required, but it will not be there for you to click and drop on your values or rows or columns or filter, but it just be hidden. But it's hidden and also active, right? Now here under cells, anything you just want to hide, just hide it there. Hide from client tools. And then here too, the same thing. Month number, I don't really need month number. Just say hide from client tools. Date column, I don't really need date column. So we can now say remove from hierarchy, date column. All right, so with this, I think I'm okay. All right, and then we just come back to our pivot. Now everything has been cleaned for us. Everything is clean now, as you can see, is shaped for our use. Now, on this sales rep, you may want to preview rejoin, right? You want to preview rejoin, just pick it up and then launch it into the columns. Then the rejoin, each and every rejoin will show how much sales have been done in such a rejoin. Okay, so these are some previews that you can do with your you can do with your pivot. Now let me also display another pivot. Let me just show some insight. Let me see some insight that we can actually achieve. All right, so with this, let's see instead of rejoin, let's put in the months. Let's see months. Let's pick months. Month into, yeah. So months. All right. Right here, you can easily easily preview. If you click on analyze here, you can choose a chart and you can easily see the comparison between the two regions as regarding their sales. How do the sales grow and all that? All right. You can check. You can go with this bar cluster bar chart or this 3D chart. And then you click on OK. We're all aware of this. You can hide this field. You can hide this axis as well. And there are some that you can also activate their data levels. Now, the data levels is somehow merged, so we can format it to give us just the preview number of it. Those custom, come to custom, and then since they're in thousands, we can create our own formatting code by typing first is the $sign, then hash. We only want to see the actual amount, a comma, and it's in thousands, so we can now put K to show that it is in thousands, and this is the code we want to use. And then we click on add, and immediately that should have been actualized for us. So you could see the code here is reduced to, okay, I didn't do for this person. Let's do for the second one, format data labels. It's already added, so we just come to custom and choose the added thousands that has been there, and then that is that. All right, so each and every one of them will have their values reduced to the nearest minimum. We'll have it reduced to the nearest minimum, so someone can easily at a glance know how much does this entails. How much does it entails? How much does it entails? All right. So in 2023, you can see that the sales was high, and then 2022 as well as 2021. So the sales is actually growing to report. But there's a small understanding here. In 2021, West Africa, right, had more cells than CA. So that means what happened, right? There are some things that ought to be, found out to ask the question: what happened? How did CA's price or sales increase more than them, and also increase more than them even in 2023? So those are the figures that need to be seen. There are some favorable design that you may wish to go with. If you wish, right, you can choose from any of these and then activate it, and then the chart will just follow suit accordingly, right? Now, sometimes if your data level is showing, then there's no need for axis, right? If you are showing your data level, then there's no need for axis any longer, right? Just remove the axis, then you display your data levels, and that will be better. That will be better. All right. So with that, there's some that may not want these grid lines, so you can still remove the grid lines. But if you still want it, you can still put it. There's no issue about that. Now you can cut this to your dashboard, right? You can cut it to your dashboard and paste it somewhere as your dashboard in case you need it. All right, so we did for this. Then we can also do preview for this second one, pivot chart, and then let's use line chart. Now, line chart is okay, so we can easily see a flow. You can see a flow of cells in the 3 years, a flow of cells in the 3 years. Have in mind, we have some samples, or there are things we may wish to remove. Let's hide the buttons here. Let's hide this as well. All right, let's hide this, or let's delete this. Now let's look for a sample that will be nice for preview. All right, so on this line chart, we can change the color. There are some beautiful colors that you can easily use as you wish. Just check any of the colors that interest you, and then you activate it there. Now we have some trend lines that can actually give us some information about the flow. So you can check for the 2-period moving average, you can check for linear focus, exponential, and then the normal linear. So let us look at linear focused. Now it will take us, it has these dotted lines, as you can see, from 2021, increasing uniformly to 2023 as it is proceeded. All right, so these are few of the charts that could be done using this data set. All right, so you can now paste it. I taught you how to do dashboard. You can do your dashboard and then put your inferences, and then you put your chart for, as well as your recommendation. Right, you put your chart there, and then you recommend what actually you have observed and what you want the company to do, and then all that. Okay. So with this, I may just give a pause here and then check for questions. If there's any question, just chat me up. Send your question to the YouTube handles. Just insert your question, and then we can comment from there, answer your questions, and then feed you back with the possible answers. Right? We'll feed you back with the answers. So from now then, let's hit straight to see how Power BI can handle some of these displays, some of these charts. Let's look at charts in Power BI. That was actually the class for today. This one was just for a kind of a preview, right? We only wanted to just do a preview. We want to do a preview of what we have done, just a rush preview. Now let's launch Power BI, and then I'll drop the data set we'll be using on the chart, and then we'll see a little about Power BI today. Then we continue Power BI tomorrow, right? We'll continue Power BI tomorrow, and then we'll excel from that. Okay. So everybody should check their the chat box. I'm dropping the data set for Power BI on the chat box. I'm dropping the data set now. The data set is called chocolate data set. Chocolate data set. Just check and download it. Download the chocolate data set. And then we'll see how we can do some preview using the chocolate data set. Right. Okay, Fatima, thank God you are here. Is your network okay by now?
I've been struggling to join, although I've been following the class, just that the network has been logging me in and out.
Okay. But it seems Stella's network is okay. Stella, how about your network? Stella, how about your network? Is Stella here?
Yes, I'm here. I'm here. I've been following though, but I'm not really taking my time to practice all these things you taught today. So I have to do that, and then it seems some of the futures I don't have them on my Excel.
Okay. So after the class, I will check what you have and how to make sure you have.
No problem. Thank you very much.
No. So the next class we're looking at is Power BI. So we have it on our dashboard. Mr. Shola, are you there? Hello? Mr. Shola, are you following? Okay, Mr. Shola is out. All right. So Power BI. I have it already on my desktop. Just double click on it. All right, as you can see, it has opened for me. All right, if you have downloaded Power BI and install it, and then it comes to its own complete installation and opening, this will be most
Sorry,
likely,
this Power BI, this Power
yeah,
BI, it's an app on its own.
yeah, it's a different app on its own.
So I
Yes,
have to download now.
yes. I'll give you the link to get it download, but just focus on the class. Then after the
Okay,
class,
sir.
I'll send a link so that you could follow suit. All right. So we
Okay,
have
sir.
different. First, he understands that you will need to bring in your data. So now showed you different data source that you can launch in your data from into Power BI. So, and there are some what is new in Power BI. You want to know few things about Power BI, and there is a guide to take you around, of which I can do that in few seconds. But if you want to have more knowledge, you can click on it and have your time with it. Now, actually, let's open blank report. Blank report is just like new workbook in Excel. You get, just like new workbook in Excel. Once you click that open, it launches the normal Power BI preview, just like Excel that will launch sheets and rows and all that. So this is how Power BI environment looks like, right? The title bar is at the top, right? We have the close, minimize, restore, etc. are there. And then we have the tabs, which were also known as the menus. Menu, file menu, home menu, insert tab, modeling tab, view, optimize, help, etc. So any tab you click, the ribbons related to it will appear. The ribbons related to it will appear for your use, as you can see. All right. So here, these are the ribbons, as you can see. And we have insert, we have a modeling tab, we have view, all right. We have themes here, which you can activate any of them after you have done your preview, right? After you have done your after finishing your, what did they call that, your charts. So you can now choose a preview. All of them will now have one pattern, beautiful pattern for your presentation. So those are things. We'll get through to all of this. If you want to activate your grid lines, you activate it by clicking it. You can click on it and know that. So we have grid lines and know that. We have mobile view in case you want to connect your phone to what you are doing. As you know, from Power BI here, after doing all your designs from here, you can send a design to anywhere in the world by the word publishing. You publish your design, and someone can use his phone and preview your design and all that, contribute to your design as the case may be. So mobile view, how the person should see on the mobile, once it's activated, then you make sure that everything is optimized is here. Now at my far left here, we have report view. Actually, this is the report view. Report view. This is where you bring in your your charts. We'll be making use of these charts and you place them here. This is like your dashboard. This place is your dashboard. Now the next one is table view. This is where your tables that you import will be kept in their normal Excel table, right? You see what is there, you do your corrections and all that. So this is the relationship. That relationship we saw in Power Query can be done more massively in Power BI. This relationship view, and then we have our DAX query view. All right. So because I've not, this is my first time opening it, that's why it's telling me I should take a tour. You can take a tour when you have the time. We'll take you around, tell you a few things concerning them as the case may be. So let's come back to our report view first. And let me tell you about this other side. We have our filters here, just like we have our normal filter. And you can open and close the side pan until when you need them. Visuals, this carries all the available type of charts, right? We have bar chart, column chart, line chart, aerial chart, combo chart, as you can see. We even have funnel, donut, pie chart, heat map or tree map. We have even maps itself. Now we even have a gauge, we have card. All these can be used to display anything you want to display. So any data, all your tables, the data will appear here for any adjustment. And then we have the two views that we talked about, the desktop view and the phone view are also listed here. So you can move in between them when as you wish to. And then we have our pages. You can insert more pages by clicking on the plus and click on the minus sign. You can also close down the pages. So we have our zoom here is on 40% now. So you can increase it and reduce it as you wish. Okay. Now, though these are just the few understanding we have in Power BI. And I will encourage you to go through the tour so that you can see one or two things and then you get used to Power BI. And so you could do more, more jobs in Power BI. All right. So first, let's bring in our chocolate data. Let's bring in our chocolate data. Okay. Now the chocolate data is on our desktop, and then just like Power Query, there's what we call get data. All right. There's a get data here, and then there is Excel workbook. All right. And then there are other places, SQL, from CSV, from web, from blank query. You can get data from anywhere. We even have others here that splitted them out. You can also enter data by yourself here. And there are other resources. If you want to have more resources to get data, just come here and bring in your data for review and others. So let's look at data here. Let's get data from Excel. And where is this data located? It's on our desktop. The Excel is called, the data is called chocolate database. Data, I'll double click on it. And immediately there's a connectivity that is going on, bringing the data into Power BI. All right. There's a navigator window that just opened. trying to ask you for some, few questions concerning your data before we could launch it straight into Power BI. Now, there are different things here. This icon you can see that has blue on it, blue table, are called tables. Why these ordinary ones are sheet, right? So in Power BI, it's better to work with tables and instead of sheet, so that your work can be smooth and efficient. Now, this same data has been cleaned. That is why I didn't go about cleaning. But there are some data before you launch them into BI, it's better to go through Excel and do some, prerequisite cleaning and make sure everything is okay for your use before you launch them into Power BI. So I need these tables. I'll just click them, the 5 tables here, and then I'll say you can actually load or you transform those. In fact, let's click on transform first so that you can see load is normal. Now you want to transform. Power BI here has Power Query, right, in it. There's a handshake that both of them do handshake together and make sure things work out well. So as you can see, I hope everything here is okay by me, except there are some few things you want to change. Shipment is okay. Sales team is okay. Product is okay by me. Geography is okay. Calendar, cow date, start of the month, and all that. So for now, I hope I'm okay with what I can see. So what I'll just do is close and apply. Query was close and load. This one is close and apply. Close and apply. As you can see, the 5 tables are trying to come in and they're loading themselves straight into Power BI. All right, so they are done loading. Now the report view is ready to start imputing. Its own report, as the case may be, or chart. Now let's look at few things that have changed on this Power BI. First is the data pan here carries the 5 of them, just like our pivot data pan that we saw. Pivot pan here, all of them are here. And then if we click on table view, you find that the tables there are displayed. You can see the tables here very well. The relationship view, we have not done the relationship yet, so we will come and, or however, it seems a relationship has been done for us automatically. Let me see. Now, Power BI have determined a relationship already, but it did not add calendar for us. So you can come and create your relationship very soon, or you go with what they have. It's very simple. I don't know whether we should do this now, but let's keep it. We'll come back to relationship. Let's look at the views and then we'll come back to relationship. All right, so let's come back to report view. Now on report view, let's start with the geography table, right? Let's look at column chart. Now, you can pick any chart from here. If you double click on any chart, it will appear even without picking anything. The chart will just appear on your report view, waiting for your clicking. You just want to do your picking and dragging and dropping, just as we did in Power Query or pivot table that we did earlier on, right? So now let's look at some few things. Geography, just click, if you click on the geography there, and then let's look at the category into legend. Now, I know you'll be thinking, where is rows? Let me see if let me reduce the display so that you could see the rows. All right. So now you can now see the values and other stuff like that. So we want to bring category into legend, and then even though you click it, it will automatically know where it should belong to. And then we bring amount into, now here we have X and Y, right? Let's click amount. Amount will now know where it should be. If we just click on it, it will just appear. Now we choose the column. On that column, we have the X, Y, legend, and where you have small multiples, tooltip, and even drill down. We'll be looking at them one after the other. Category, let's take category to legend, and then let's take amount to X. Right now, look at the display. Wait, are you there? Stella, are you there?
I'm here.
Oh, Fatima, you are there.
Yes.
Beautiful.
I'm here.
I
I'm
hope you
here,
are
but I'm dozing off gradually.
okay. Don't doze. We'll soon by 10:30 we should be off. By 10:30 we should be off. Now look at the display of
On the screen.
on the screen. Now that is when we said that Power BI is a very powerful tool when it comes to display. Right. Now it also depends on what was introduced on the X and Y axis. Right? That was
Okay.
why it plays there. Now the Y should have been the geography and not the sum of amount. So let me bring in geography into Y axis. All right. Beautiful. So let me delete it and let me start afresh again. Now let's pick a column chart, and let me go with cluster column. First, we bring geography to geography can be gotten from Joe table. So bring the Joe into Y, then bring amount into the X, and then you will bring category into legend, right? Now this is the display. This is the display. But normally it should be normal column chart and not this spill. If I want to call it, but I mean, let's see. Let me pick it again. Cluster column. We click on geography, click on amount, and then we click on category. Beautiful.
Okay.
Now have you seen it now? So the geography should have been in X and not in Y. All right. Geography should have been in X and not in Y. Then amount should have been in Y axis. Yeah. Geography X, and then category now. The category will be in legend. But what Power BI is good at is even though you change where they ought to be, there will still be a visual to show you, right? And assuming you don't know where to place them, on clicking on what you want to preview, it automatically arrange where they should be based on the chart you want to preview. Now, as it is now, I can start changing each of the charts one by one, and it will adjust to that chart. It will adjust to that chart.
Okay.
Yes, it will adjust to the same chart I'm clicking. Right, combo, all of them, as you can see, is adjusting. You can click on, you can click this funnel chart. Anyone that is, compatible with it to adjust to that, adjust to that, and, and give you visuals as required. Okay, so a lot of charts found here, a lot. I can also add some if you have. You can add some. So let's just come back to our column style. Now, as our procedures is, we may wish to hide some of these icons and show some of them, but we'll do that subsequently so that we can close. I want to show you some of the displays, at least for today. Then tomorrow we'll have our time to do more. Let's look at bar chart. Well, once you are done with this chart like this, you just click outside and it will just stay where it is. And then you can now come and click a bar chart as you wish. And then you now do another preview for bar chart, right? So I don't know which preview should we do. Bar chart, let's say geography by product and then by amount. All right. Okay, product is much. Let me remove product. Geography by amount. Let's look at what other things can we preview here. Um, what is region? Okay. All right. So let's look at sales. What is under sales? The sales team. Okay. Okay. So that is bar chart. Let's look at donut chart.
What did you put under legend?
I just okay. Let me click on it so that you see. Legend. There is nothing under the legend. It's empty.
Okay.
Okay. So here as well, let's pick up a donut chart. Let's pick up donut chart. Let's drag it up, and then let's put legend and box. Legend. I mean, sorry, team. Under sales team, we just pick up team. Just click on team, and then we will click on the boxes that they ordered. All right, so that has been done for donut. Let's look at another chart here. Let's look at card. Let's click on card. Let's drag it up. All right, so card now we want to see 3 card together. We want to see the total amount. All right, this is the total amount of sales. So we can do another card again. And then we show the total boxes, 4 million. As you can see, have you seen it? It's calculating automatically for us. Do another card, or perhaps you can do gauge if you want. And the gauge, let's put a ship count, shipment count. It should be under shipment. Where is shift? Okay, shipment ID. Okay, that means I need to find the shipment count. I need to go and calculate for shipment count so that we can calculate how many of this shipment happened, how many took effect, right? That was shipped out of that was shifted out of the company as the case may be. Okay, so we can do start of month X and Y. Let's look at that. Which one is this? Ash where there's another important thing about Power BI. There's where you could ask your question. There's a Q&A here. They can ask a question, and then it will answer the question and also bring out the preview. Now let me just say total shipment. Let me see. Let me ask a question. Total shipment, and click on go. Look at it. Total count of shipment. Have you seen it now?
Yeah.
And you remember I wanted to do this. I told you that I need to go and do the calculation and get it. But just ask the question. Power BI went to do the calculation for me. And then if this is the total shipment, so I can now use card to represent it. And that is what I wanted to do since. Right. So that is one thing about Power BI. Right. It can actually bring things into play accordingly. Let's look at matrix. 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 Okay. Matrix. Let's look at matrix view. Now, matrix here, it has both rows and columns. So let's just put category into rows. Category into rows. And then we put teams. Teams into columns. Teams into columns. And then the boxes into values. Now, matrix now will produce a table for us. As you can see, tables that contains both boxes and the teams and the boxes, as well as the category of products that they got themselves engaged in. Before we close, let us do this relationship together. Let's do this relationship together. All right, so as our normal relationship is, there's no too much, there's no big deal, just the same. We click and drag and everything, but let's delete this first. If you want to delete, you just right click on it and you delete on it, you delete it, and that is all. There is no big deal. Right click, delete, right click and delete. So let's start our relationship ourselves now. All right. So geography will geography can fit in to category. Am I correct? No. Look at. In fact, let me do it again. It's different from Power, Power Query relationship. Now, this is geography, and this product. I imagine I made a mistake on that, one to many, but this is not what is required, right? So you can as well change the tables here and find what will relate with each other. So we have GID here is here. Let's look at product. Region is here. So geography table has region. So let's look at which table has region. Okay, GID is here. GID is here. So you can now use GID to match with GID and click on save. The relationship is created, right? And then there is PID here. There's PID here. So you can click and drag and drop your PID, and then PID is there. Relationship is actualized, right? Now there is this date here. Let's look at if there is here. Let's do a mistake first. Let's do a wrong relationship. Now we have date and sales team. Do we have date anywhere? Or month or product or year, right? So we have product here, sales team, month, shipment. All right, so we have ship date there. Ship date. So this date and this date can correlate together. Right. So that means shipment automatically becomes the Oga Patapata table here. So salesperson SPID can marry SPID, and then the relationship is now created. Have you seen now? We have created a relationship now. Relationship of everybody is now created, product and sales. So this is how relationships are being created. Okay. So at this point, oh, it's 10:30 already. Okay. So Fatima, from at this point, we'll just give a close. We'll close from here, and then from tomorrow we'll start Power BI afresh, and then we'll hit down into DAX formulas, and we do what we can do. Even we can import more data set and still work on it on Power BI, and then we'll see how to create a dashboard on Power BI, and then we'll do one or two calculations, and then we close up. We'll do some formatting, and then we close on that note. I know you may have questions. Just type your question, send it to me, and then we'll continue from there by God's grace. All right. Fatima, are you there? Stella, are you there? Fatima, can you hear me?
Yeah.
All right. Have a nice night. We'll continue tomorrow. And then have in mind next week.
Okay.
Next week we'll be going for IAC, so we'll have a pause. But we'll finish up on we should finish up on Friday so that everybody will prepare for Saturday and Sunday, right? For next week. Maybe by tomorrow should be our last class. Then we continue after tomorrow after IAC. So everyone will rest. Nevertheless, anybody that has need of more information before next week can still meet up, can call my attention. We'll write, and then we'll give you the information before IAC, which is next week. That means Saturday and Sunday is opened for anybody that wants more information to keep your on the previous courses, right? On the previous class, you want to use those 2 days to clean up meetups on Power BI. So we can give that allowance to anybody that is requesting on that. So that after IAC, everybody will be on the same page, and then we run the class to a close. Bye.
Okay.
All right. Thank you for your time. Please send love to the admin, and then just type good night to everyone.
Okay.
All right. Take care. Good night.
Yeah. Mm, everyone. Good night.
Good night.
Bye.
Bye.